Hey there, readers. It's time for Chapter 3 from our Read Aloud Indian Shoes. Guess who's coming to dinner? A cut pine glowed in the crimson bubble lights. Flames danced in the fireplace. A newly arrived card from Jonah and Nancy Lee stood among those gathered on the mantel. Frosty webs clung to the window panes, and the wind groaned against the rooftop. This was the first Christmas Day that Ray and Grandpa Half Moon hadn't celebrated with family in Oklahoma. But last week, the pickup had quit for good. Just as well, Grandpa had said, what with the road so slick. While riding the rattling train home from church, Ray had promised himself to act merry anyway, for Grandpa's sake. I have to stop right there. I'm wondering why Grandpa and Ray live in Chicago, but the rest of the family lives in Oklahoma. I'm just wondering. Snow swirled around Ray and Grandpa Half Moon as they waded through the drifts beneath the ice-sculpted maples to the Murphy home. Glittering snowflakes smacked wet against Ray's cheeks and clouded the morning midday sky. In the Murphy family kitchenette, Ray said, "Merry Christmas" to Prince, who yipped and tripped over his paws and slipped on the linoleum. Ray searched for the biscuit box while Grandpa escorted Prince onto the back step to do his business. When it was time to leave, Ray rubbed Prince's belly and said, "It's tough being alone on holidays." Ray's and Grandpa's breath puffed cloudy as they trudged next door to the Wang home. In the driveway, Mrs. Wang's VW Bug waited to be freed from the snow, like a triceratops skeleton embedded in rock. Inside Mrs. Wang's home office, Grandpa said, "Good tidings" to Tank, who snoozed in his shell, and to Eugenia the parrot, who replied, "Feliz Navidad." While Grandpa spied on Tank, Ray refilled Eugenia's seed mix and offered her a farewell cookie. "Poor Eugenia," Grandpa said, tugging his forest green knit cap over his ears. Tank's lousy company this time of year." "Bye, Eugenia," Ray said, pulling on his wool-lined mittens. "Joyeux Noël," Eugenia chirped. Ray and Grandpa tromped 2 doors down to the Onsey home. Sleet caught in Grandpa's shoulder-length ponytail, and Ray's teeth clattered like old bones. In the Onise's living room, Ray wriggled his nose and said, "Happy holidays" to Mama Ferret and her kittens, who slinked below the plush, L-shaped pit sofa. Okay, so I can tell now that they're going around and they're checking on their neighbors' pets. At first I was a little confused, what's going on? But then I started thinking, it's the holiday time and their neighbors must be gone to visit family. But Ray and Grandpa are there, so they're going around to check on their neighbors' pets. "Kind of smelly, aren't they?" Ray asked, unwrapping his scarf. "Yep," Grandpa Half Moon replied. Ray cleaned litter boxes and refilled the food and water bowls. Meanwhile, Grandpa flicked the feather toy until the ferret family emerged to tumble and play tag, but one kit wouldn't have any of that. The runt raced back and forth with chow in his teeth, snatching it from a bowl and hiding it beneath the sofa. "Poor Mama," Grandpa Half Moon said. "She sure has her paws full." Ray and Grandpa slid through the slush across the street to the Wilson home. Layers of cotton and flannel and denim and down weren't enough to still their shivers or keep the goosebumps from rising on their skin. Inside Mr. Wilson's studio, Grandpa said season's greetings to Legs, who blinked at him with 8 eyes. Ray gave her crickets to munch while Grandpa served up a juicy earthworm. Legs gnawed at the earthworm first. "I'm partial to Legs," Grandpa Half Moon said. "She has a beautiful soul." The sky deepened to murky twilight as Ray and Grandpa shuffled back to their brick bungalow. Ray's lungs ached from the frigid air, and the wind whooshed away the crunchy boot prints he and Grandpa left behind. In front of their toasty fire, Ray sipped steaming cocoa while Grandpa sank into his worn recliner and clicked on the evening news. Ray watched stories about Santa, soup kitchens, and ice skaters on State Street. From O'Hare Airport to Lakeshore Drive, the storm blanketed Ray's steel and stone city in glistening white. Entire blocks had lost power, and repairs lagged hours, even days behind. Check on your neighbors, the reporter warned. Cold can become deadly fast. Though memories of Aunt Wilhelmina's pecan pie, Uncle Leonard's hearty chuckle, and the Elvis Christmas CD haunted Ray, at least he had the glow of the crimson bubble lights, the steam of the cocoa, turkey roasting in the chicken, and Grandpa for company. Could be a lot worse, Ray thought. Just as he swallowed his last sip of cocoa, the TV screen and ceiling fan bulb flickered off. The bubble lights died, dulling the pine tree, and the gurgling heater fell silent. Grandpa climbed out of his recliner, strode to the window, and peered outside. "Street lights out," he said. "I'm guessing the whole block at least." "The pets!" Ray exclaimed, moving to his side. "What about the pets?" Grandpa Half Moon slung an arm around Ray's shoulders. "We can't very well build a fire at every home on the block, but let's see how we're faring first." Ray trudged after Grandpa into the shadowy, cramped kitchen and watched him take a pan of half-cooked turkey legs out of the oven. The plastic packages of frozen okra and rice pilaf were still ice blocks in the freezer. The brownies were still powder in a box. No road trip, no Aunt Wilhelmina or Uncle Leonard, and now, no holiday meal. It was the worst Christmas ever, but all Ray could think about was Prince, Tank, Eugenia, Mama Ferret, her kits, and Legs. "Too bad their families left them all alone," Ray grumbled, settling his mug next to the sink. "Too bad the pets can't just come right over here." Right then, Grandpa Half Moon's eyes crinkled, and Ray grinned for the first time all day. "Why not?" they asked together. It took Ray's wooden sled, Grandpa's squeaky wheelbarrow, 2 oversized beach towels, and a couple of the pets' own zip-up carriers. It took some ruffled fur and feathers and leg hair and nerves. It took more than an hour of wading through the drifts beneath branches draped by icicles and listening to Eugenia chirp, "Mele Kaliki Maka," which meant Merry Christmas in Hawaiian. But finally, Tank the turtle hibernating in his aquarium, Eugenia the parrot chatting on her swing, Mama Ferret and her kittens tumbling in their cage, and Legs the tarantula sauntering in his plastic skull had settled in the Half Moon family room. Prince the fox-faced Pomeranian curled on the matted shag carpet in front of the fireplace. I really liked that paragraph because it helped me to understand all of the pets and really visualize what they looked like. Earlier in the chapter, when they were talking about Legs, I wasn't quite sure what kind of pet that was. But now, after reading this paragraph, I can really understand and see in my mind what they all look like and exactly what they are. Also, here's a picture of Ray and the wheelbarrow, and you can tell some of the pets are in there and they've got it all covered up with a blanket. To Ray and Grandpa Half Moon, the giant marshmallows scavenged from the cabinet, roasted over the flames, tasted charred and chewy and sweet. And even though the blizzard was blustering, the bubble lights had died, the turkey legs were ruined, the pickup had puttered out, the road trip was canceled, and the rest of their family had gathered miles away, Christmas suddenly seemed like Christmas. Ray laughed at the frolicking ferrets. "Like rats, but funny," he said. "More like polecats," Grandpa said, downing a marshmallow. "How about you pick out a kit? I told the Onsies we'd take one of those smelly ferrets if that suits you." It did. Ray noticed the ferret runt eyeing his marshmallow. From now on, Ray planned to keep watch for swiped treasures beneath the couch. "I'm going to call him Bandit," he announced. "Thanks, Grandpa." "Merry Christmas," Grandpa Half Moon replied. And then Eugenia squawked, "Happy New Year!" That was chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed it.